Prepare yourself for List Off, the gaming podcast where your hosts, Brian and Ryan, rank the things they love. 3, 2, 1, List Off!
If you wanted to hear the biggest stories in gaming, well, I got news for you. You came to the right place because this week we are discussing August gaming news. How you doing, Brian?
I am doing fantastic, Ryan. Thank you so much for asking. Gaming and beyond this week.
Oh, gaming and beyond. We have a little bit extra. That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, some big I guess nerd culture news, right? In general. Yeah.
Very excited to talk about it.
Me too, buddy. Did you play any games this week?
I did. So jumped into some Splitgate.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was fun. This was the first time I've played with anyone that wasn't just a random person.
Same.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We rocked it. I think, did we win pretty much all of our games?
Pretty much all of them. I will say, because we played together, I guess I can discuss this game with you now, right?
Yes.
So we did play with friend of the podcast, Keith from the main quest, and we, just as a side note to anybody who's trying to play cross-platform, we did have an issue with audio. We weren't all able to get on the same voice chat channel for some reason.
Yeah.
I was able to have one open with Keith on the PS5 because we were both playing on the same console, but I had to have a separate one open with Brian, and I was kind of jumping back and forth between the two. So that was a little finicky. That took us a while. We tried to figure it out for quite some time, and it didn't work. So
it didn't make any sense. The fact that you, a PS5, and me, a PC, could talk, but then we couldn't all three talk.
I don't know. I had like a specific PS5 voice chat open with Keith, but then even when we closed that and invited him to the main one, it still didn't work out. So I'm not sure what the issue was, but
probably better just to go through like Discord or something where we can all just congregate and then not worry about in-game chats.
Right. For sure. No, it was great. It was a good time playing. First time playing with real people that I knew. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. We did win when you left, we did not win every match, but that's okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty good at the game, you'd say, right?
I would say absolutely.
Yeah. Like I definitely have a good KD ratio, and I'm out there like nailing people. But Brian, I think you have some skeletons in your closet because you are a murderer.
Well, you don't want to brag, but
you should brag. Please take the floor.
I did place platinum, which is squarely in the middle of placement for my placement matches on ranked.
Wow.
And I platinum right in the middle there. So it's, there's above and beyond, but so that was fun. But when you're playing ranked at higher levels, I am way out of my league at that point. I'm definitely at a brick wall. So I think they placed me exactly where I needed to be to try to do better.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't even touched rank. I don't think I ever will. I enjoy the casual games.
Sure.
It's just not something I ever see myself getting super into, but it's a lot of fun to play. Definitely.
Yeah. I will say
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the people are using the portals way more frequently in ranked.
I've seen on YouTube, I've watched some videos of like, tips to get better. And I'm just like, I'm never going to do this.
Nope.
Like there's a trick that if you just get right out of the second portal, you could actually pop a third open. And there's like all this other meta stuff going on. And I'm just like, I don't even use the portals. Like, what's going on here? I do sometimes. And when I'm able to like use them to my advantage, I'm like, look at me. Splitgate Pro,
When I first started playing, I was hurling grenades at people thinking like I was doing some serious damage.
Yeah, by the way, if you haven't played Splitgate, the grenades do nothing except close other people's portals.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, there's two people, grenade time. And they would just keep running at me.
I did that too. Like, somebody's coming around that corner up there. Let me lob a grenade. They just headshot me every time. It was fun, but that BFB is the best weapon in the game. I love that thing. Oh my God. It is so much fun to just run around bashing people with that thing.
After playing Halo Infinite for that tech beta thing, they have one of those big hammers. I forget what it's called. I would say that the BFB is equally satisfying as a gigantic hammer.
I love it because like people actually run from you when you have the BFB, and it's like, yeah, you should run,
right?
It's great. It's great, man. Sorry. So did you play any other games?
I did. I played two more here. So I jumped into Psychonauts 2 because that is the newest Game Pass game that is like a Microsoft studio, Double Fine. I played the first game a long time ago, I think on the 360. So I think it was an original Xbox game, if I'm not mistaken. And I could not get into it. And I cannot get into Psychonauts 2. I'll probably give it a little more time just to see, because people are raving about it and saying it's a really good platformer. But the biggest thing for me is the art style. I have never been a fan of it. I would say it's very Tim Burton-esque. So like Nightmare Before Christmas looking. Not my favorite like art style. In this game, it feels like if it was a Nightmare Before Christmas, but with like Ren and Stimpy levels of kind of grotesque, nasty, like teeth, and like they have a content warning up at the front that says like, hey, there's some weird stuff. There's a lot of like mental illness things that we're expressing, and if you are like have trouble with the dentist, then you will not like this game. And that's not a problem for me, but it is pretty disgusting in some of the places. And if you ever played Earthworm Jim 3D, a lot of the same things are going on in this, because you're like, it's Psychonauts. You're entering the minds of people, and that's exactly what you did in Earthworm Jim 3D. And it was weird back then too. So yeah, there's some weird stuff to it, but the art style it kills me. And like, I want to like it, but it's just hard to. Are
there any other Double Fine games in the past that you've enjoyed, or not so much? Because they do have a good reputation, but
I couldn't name another one, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I get the appeal of it, but it's a little weird for me. And the platforming, it's fine. It's just not what I'm looking for right now. Maybe I'll return to it at another point, and theoretically that will be on Game Pass forever. I mean, that's a Microsoft owned studio, so I don't see it leaving ever.
Yeah, they did like a Brutal Legend.
I never played that
Grim
either.
Fandango.
No.
Day of the Tentacle, little point and click adventure game stuck in there.
Not my favorite.
I know. All right. Just curious.
But to that point, I did jump into 12 minutes. Did I talk about that last week? I don't know.
No, I don't think you did. Okay. I don't think you did. Yeah.
So
talk about it again.
Yeah. We went through it. So we didn't get all the way through it. So I think there's 11 different loops that like, if you get through it, like this is how long it should take you. And we did like half of it without looking at anything, like looking anything up, and felt like, so if you don't know, it's a game where it's a time loop, and you are just in this little apartment. It's you and your wife, and 5 minutes in, a cop answers or knocks on the door and arrests you, and like madness ensues. So once the loop starts over, you're like, what's going on? And then you start trying to ask questions of your wife and the cop, and you try to find out what's going on. And it's an adventure game. You're pointing and clicking and moving around the environment and interacting with things and solving puzzles. And it's really cool because, it gives those Groundhog Day vibes of like, I know what's going on. No one else does. I need to explain as quickly as possible. And as you progress and ask the right questions, then you can kind of circumvent things that you had to explain before with like, hey, I have knowledge of this. So like, let's cut to the chase.
That's good that they have those shortcuts. Because if you had to go through the same steps every time, it could.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are points where you're like, okay, like we're past that because I know this information. So I don't have to do that like 4-step thing to get to this point anymore. And that's cool. And then we got to a point where we're like, we just want like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going on? So we looked up the solution to like kind of get to the end, and then completed it. And then we're never going to touch it again.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea. I think it is executed in a okay fashion, and I'm glad it's on Game Pass and I didn't spend $25 on it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games that's perfect for Game Pass.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm sure there are a lot of people playing it who wouldn't be if it were something they'd had to pay for. Big time talent tied to this too.
Oh yeah, we got Willem Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, and James McAvoy.
Yeah,
that's a great cast. And so I can only hear Willem Dafoe. I can't really tell the other characters, but it's nice to know that it's them.
Really though, James McAvoy has a pretty distinct voice.
Not enough for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, if you've seen Split, he does many voices.
Exactly. Yeah, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
But I would recommend it. You're about to jump into the Game Pass ecosystem.
Maybe we'll get to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for anyone out there, if you have Game Pass, definitely give it a shot and see if it's for you. It's a very clever game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, the last game I wanted to mention was jumped back into Sea of Thieves.
Cool.
I still have an active plunder pass, so I'm getting some extra rewards. And I'm having a lot more fun with it right now. My wife and I are playing that, and we kind of dropped the Pirates of the Caribbean storyline because that is very on the rails. Here we go. Here's the story. And it's kind of slow and it's kind of boring in parts.
Yeah.
And I've also played that part 3 times now. So I'm kind of over it. So we're kind of just doing the pirate stuff. Being a pirate is a right to be. Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Just regular Sea of Thieves nonsense. And we actually jumped into things that I've never they're basic things like voyages that I just never got into, but we're kind of figuring it out together and having a good time with it. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I kind of embracing the game in a different angle now, and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, you got your crew, man. You got your own ship. Go hit the high seas. Yeah.
We're in a sloop, so just a 1 to 2 person.
Very good. Yeah,
smaller ship, but
you can operate it. That's good. You don't need anybody else. You can trust your crew. Well,
exactly.
I mean, maybe
we'll see.
Yeah,
I think she might be hoarding treasure on the side, but we'll see.
It's possible.
So how about you? Have you played anything?
Yeah, I did. So I played Splitgate, had a great time. I also played a lot of Risk of Rain too. I found myself just really wanting to play it because it's so quick. These runs happen so fast, and you could either end really, really quickly, unfortunately, or the most it's gone. I got to the fourth. The farthest I've gotten is the 4th area, I guess biome, because I'm a Returnal guy.
To borrow a Returnal term.
Yeah. But they are biomes, definitely, different environments, each one unique. I really enjoy it. I think it's good. It doesn't play as smooth as Returnal. Shocker there, right? It doesn't look as good as Returnal, but it's definitely hitting the same point of my brain that I like to get hit by these types of games, right? Yeah, it's scratching the itch. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting button scheme. That's the one fault. It's a lot of shoulder buttons for your actions. And it does take some getting used to. It's also definitely not as polished as Returnal. Returnal, you definitely feel like when you get hit, it's your fault. There's almost like a rhythm to the combat in Returnal. You understand when things are about to attack and when to use your dash and when to start attacking them to cancel their attack. Risk of Rain 2 doesn't so much have that. It throws tons of enemies especially during boss fights. It's we're going to spawn 50 other smaller enemies that you now have to dodge and worry about as you're fighting the boss. And it just becomes this mess of I have to dodge just to not get hit. And I'm just shooting randomly and it's going to hit something because there's so many enemies on screen. So it's definitely not as polished and it's not as precise as Returnal was, but it's not bad. It's not a bad game. I'm very pleased with the purchase for $10.
I could see so Returnal, when I saw it, the bullets coming at you were relatively slow. And I imagine when more of that gets on screen is when you have to really coordinate that, but it gives you time to really plan out your movement. So I could understand Risk of Rain to it sounds like it's more chaotic and just
it definitely
bullet
is,
hell.
Yeah.
And
it is. crazy at times.
Right.
So I did also play. Well, I will say there's a game off my list from last week that I can no longer say I haven't played because Brian shipped it to me super, super fast. And I got Red Dead Redemption 2. It's in my PlayStation 5 right now because it's the physical copy, which, by the way, took like a half an hour to download, probably more than a half an hour to download. Yeah.
From the disc. Like it was reading information off the disc.
Right.
And it took that long.
Yeah. It never takes that long when I download digital games.
Wow.
But I don't know what, maybe they're like, yeah, sure, it's the disc version with like the cheapest possible disc drive on Earth in there. But it's good. I really love it so far. I'm about 4 or 5 hours in. Beautiful game. I did look up something online about the playtime, and I'm like, oof, this is an undertaking.
It is.
50 hours, I think, 48 hours on average to just play the main story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm enjoying it. I will get through it. It's just a matter of how long that takes me.
And this has a PS5 upgrade. Is that correct? Okay.
I don't know if it does. Though, it looks 60 frames per second. It looks great. So I think it might.
It would have to be a PS5 upgrade if it's 60 frames.
Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
It really does. And I'm just, definitely enjoying it. There are a few things that just frustrate me about Rockstar games. It's been a long time since I played a Rockstar title, and God, why do they do their control scheme so different from everybody else? Like everybody else, it's like, hey, this is a third-person action game. Like you're gonna click the left thumbstick to run, and they're like, no, that's gonna be crouch. And they're like, yeah, okay, but like X is jump, right? No, you tap X to run in our games. Like, don't you get it? It's like, what are they? Squares jump. Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing, Rockstar?
I know.
Like why just adopt what everybody is used to, because that's what other AAA titles do. Like when I pick up a AAA third person, story driven game on PlayStation, I know the buttons, and that is a huge benefit. But I still find myself pushing the wrong thing in this game, and it's like 4 or 5 hours in. I shouldn't have that issue.
Well, and that's the thing. Everything in Red Dead is very deliberate and slow. So if you hit the wrong button.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was going to get at too. It is very deliberately slow. And that is like, look, I want to be running right now. Like, I don't need to be walking and talking about how the last thing went wrong that I wasn't even a part of. Like, let's just get to the mission, and I want to get through this story. There is a lot of that taking its time, and it's good. The environment's gorgeous, and like, it's not dull, but I don't want to. I guess what I'm saying is I'm fighting against the inevitability that it's going to take me 50 hours to get through it.
Well, I mean, you also have like a big thing coming up.
I do.
Yeah. So it's like, oh man, do I want to dunk 50 hours, or do I want to like get ready for the smorgasbord that's ahead of me?
It is coming. So on that note, I wanted to play Doom Eternal so badly that I went ahead and bought an Xbox Series X.
What two wildly different games, Red Dead versus Doom Eternal.
Well, I was like $15.99 on the PlayStation Store. Nah, I think I'll pick up a Series X instead. So I did. But like, I'm very happy I was able to get one. It'll be arriving. I'm very impatiently waiting for it to arrive on Tuesday. Checking that tracking every hour, basically. It hasn't changed all day, but I'm like, wait, have you gotten any closer yet? It hasn't. Still, the last update was that it left like Tennessee or something.
So you'll be joining the Xbox family, Game Pass family.
Yeah. And this is a big thing for me because I have never owned all consoles at the same time.
Really?
Like all 3 major consoles at the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
So the last generation that I owned all 3 was like I think the Xbox 360. What was that? PlayStation 3? PlayStation 3, and then the Wii.
And the Wii. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I didn't own them all at the same time.
Okay.
I think I traded my 360 to get the PlayStation 3. So
I think I'm probably in the same boat, honestly.
Yeah, this is the first time I will ever have all three, and I feel like such a grown man right now. It's crazy. I'm really looking forward to it. Definitely 12 minutes is a game I'll play, and I got this for games like that also because all the day one releases, and I've said it before on the podcast too. If you are the type of person who picks a console and plants your flag and says everybody else is wrong, you are missing out on a lot of gaming. And I never want to be that person. I love video games. I cannot wait to experience the games that the Xbox platform holds for me, especially in the future. And we might get into it later, but I think for one of these consoles, the holidays are looking a lot better than the other. But we might dive into that a little later in the show. So on that note, without further ado, I say we get into the news for this.
We shall, yes.
All right. So if you want to do this first story, Brian, I know it was one that you added.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's hear it.
Speaking of differences in consoles, this is an example of Sony taking a very weird route, whereas Microsoft took a very direct route. So the PS5 is getting the SSD NVMe support for hard drive, solid state drives, I should say. But it's very complicated how they're doing it. There are only certain ones that will work with it, and they kind of spell that out, and you have to have a heat sink. So there are certain SSDs that have heat sinks.
Wow.
And you have to make sure to get one of those. I don't know the details of all it, but it is very complicated and not straightforward. Whereas with the Microsoft one, it's one Seagate drive that you can buy and you plug it in and you're done.
Right.
With the PS5, you have to unscrew it, take it, pieces out and put it in, make sure it's the right everything. Which SSDs, there's 1,000 different types, different brands and different styles. So that's kind of complicated, and they're just as, if not more expensive than the Xbox add-on storage. So, usually when you can do these kind of things, it's because, it's a ton cheaper, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. So it's good that they're adding it. I think people certainly want to upgrade their drives.
Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
So what do you think the value of a PS5 is? I get that they're priced at $500, whatever, $400. But what do you think the value of a PS5 is in a world where they sell on eBay for like $1,200, whatever? What's the price number you would put on a PS5 console?
I mean, I would put $500. It seems like a good deal for what you get with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, the fact that you can't find one and that they're selling for $1,200, $2,000, whatever. I would probably put the actual like value as higher than 500 at the moment, right? Like because of the fervor, because that you have scalpers, whatever, right?
Sure.
The street value, let's say.
I mean, that's going to be through the roof. Like, for sure, you could sell yours right now and absolutely make a profit. No questions asked.
So with all that in consideration, I am not popping it open and putting a screwdriver anywhere near it just so I could like delete and re-download games less often. Like, forget it. And then I have to pay to do it too. You're nuts. Yeah. I don't care that much, man. I'm probably not the typical PlayStation 5 owner, but whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to have more storage, but certainly like I only have 1 terabyte in my PC and I'm fine just like downloading games and deleting them all the time.
Yeah. And my point is more that it shouldn't be, like you said, it shouldn't be this obtuse, man.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't, like, just why is it this difficult if we wanted that?
Sure.
Yeah. Come up with a better fix.
Right.
Definitely. So speaking of Sony, I guess we're into another Sony story here.
Yeah.
Sony bought Crunchyroll. It's an anime streaming service. Sony closes this is coming from Engadget. They closed a $1.175 billion deal to buy Crunchyroll. Billion.
Wow.
Yeah, billion to buy it from AT&T. Apparently, Sony does plan to create a unified anime experience as soon as possible.
That is I've dreamed of a unified anime experience.
Who hasn't? I mean, the platform definitely, especially now more than ever, anime is extremely popular. You know, you have things like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, like these major titles that talk about nerd culture. A huge portion of it watched anime to some extent. So I could definitely see the value, and it's probably an industry that's growing. They did a lot of other journalists are mentioning that they might package it in with like a premium PS Plus subscription, like, hey, you get PS Plus and Crunchyroll, or, you know, maybe bundle it all together. I don't know. That, I mean, it makes sense for them to do that. I just, for me, not the biggest anime guy. I did recently try to watch an anime. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I did try to watch Attack on Titan. That's a really popular one, right? And I made it like, I want to say 8 to 9 episodes in, and it's like, this is so melodramatic, dude.
Oh no.
Like, what is this? Everything is like this monologue of like passion and like drama, and I'm just like, oh my God, like all I want to see is people fight gigantic people. I want to see people fight them. I want to see normal sized people get eaten by gigantic people. Like, why do I have to listen to this?
Oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. Look, the action was cool. The characters are they're anime characters. I don't know what to say. I love certain anime. I do. Ninja Scroll. I grew up on like certain anime, you know, Ghost in the Shell. This wasn't hitting for me. So I kind of, maybe it's not anime as a whole, but I couldn't do Attack on Titan. I'll tell you that much.
You are Listoff's premier anime expert, noted anime expert.
Oh, God.
Because all I have seen is Pokemon, which do you even count that as an anime?
I would. By the way, I started watching Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's on Netflix just today. Sweet. So never mind.
Yeah. I mean, I like Pokemon I think it's because I like Pokemon in general. Yeah. Not to, I mean, we didn't even have this on our news list, but now they have Pokemon TV on the Switch.
Oh, right.
Which that's pretty cool.
It's a big deal. Yeah. By the way, did you know Pokemon Sun and Moon don't use your Pokemon Z power unless you've bonded heart to heart with them?
Oh,
it's very important. Yeah, no, this is, I saved you some potential problems in the future here.
Oh man.
Yeah. I like Pokemon.
I like Pokemon too. I think we talked about it last time, and I'm like, yeah, the cards are the really big thing for me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have any anymore, but like that's where it's at for me.
Yeah.
All right, getting on. Did you know that Skyrim is coming out soon? Skyrim is being re-released for the 99th time.
It is.
With an anniversary edition.
Yeah, just in time for the holidays, too.
And guess what they're adding?
Fishing.
They are adding fishing. that is like the one thing they pointed to as a new feature.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't know, I perk up when I hear something about Skyrim. Mm-hmm. You know, I like that game. Yeah. So if they added something big, then I would
for sure
like to play it. But yeah, fishing was kind of all they said. Yeah. So Skyrim's coming out again.
I think there's more items from the Creation Club too that they're incorporating into the game.
There are.
Yeah, it's going to be Skyrim.
Right.
It's going to be probably just like the best version of Skyrim at this point.
Sure.
So that's cool. Happy 10th anniversary to it.
That's right.
This game meant a lot to me.
Yeah. I still remember watching that first trailer and just like being in awe of what was coming and being able to experience all that for the first time.
Yeah, it was a big game for me. I played it for like a long time, man.
Yeah. I had a roommate at the time, and I had the 360 version and he had the PS3 version.
Yeah.
And if you remember, the PS3 version had that really nasty bug where
I had
the longer you played, the more. Yeah. Okay, so did you experience it where you...
Absolutely. We've talked about this. I think we came up on the podcast before where I was legitimately still playing it, where like it would pop up and I'd like see a bridge on the horizon, like, you know, like 100 yards down the road.
Right.
And it would just freeze. And then I know, like, okay, if I point the joystick in this general direction, I'm walking towards that bridge, and then it would like flash the new frozen screen, and I'd be like at the bridge, and I'd be like, yes, I got to the bridge.
Oh no!
But then when things were attacking, you were like, I'm dead.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh
yeah, but that goes to show you how much I love this game. Like,
exactly.
Man, so much, like, unbelievably love this game.
Yeah, I've thought about getting the VR version just to see how that is, but you kind of need to mod it a lot for it to be really, really good, I hear. So it's yeah. It might be a little more trouble than it's worth for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm probably not going to buy Skyrim again. I've already bought it like 3 or 4 times. I know. Dude. I can't do it. I can't do it unless this goes to like $10, and maybe I will.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, our next bit of news, not Skyrim related, is that Nintendo, probably not a huge surprise, but it dominates game sales in Japan in July. No other console was in the top 30 software sales. That's incredible to me. I mean, you're talking about the Nintendo Switch came out in 2016, right?
17.
Was it 17?
Yes.
Well, fine.
It was announced in 2016.
Yeah, sure, sounds right. But either way, it wasn't like last year,
right?
Which is what the PS5 came out. And it's like, look, Microsoft, not the biggest shocker, not always the best seller in Japan,
not at all.
But it's a surprise that no PlayStation game is up there. That's a huge surprise.
That is.
So, yeah, this comes from Gaming Bolt. Apparently, I'm just going to go ahead and read the article for a moment here. The newest sales reports from Japan paint a very stark and interesting picture. Sorry.
It sounds like you're editorializing the editorializing.
I am. The top 30 software sales charts. It's like when you watch YouTube videos. This is not what the article says. And they have like, you're like not sure if it's like a robotic voice reading it or a human being who just has a weird accent and is trying to sound English or American, you know. The top 30 software sales charts for the week.
This is just a Simpsons character.
Are all Nintendo only. There's not one single PlayStation game in the top 30. Wow. Like that's crazy. 30 games. The top 30. You're not talking about top 10 and there's no PlayStation game in there. The top 30 games. That's pretty astonishing, man. Good for Nintendo. I do not. We all talk about these. Oh, they're only doing OLED. Where's the Switch Pro? Imagine being Nintendo. Why?
Right.
You are like killing it right now. You've been killing it for the last 4 or 5 years.
It's like, because of what it is. It switches. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Yeah, good for Nintendo. Kind of weird for Sony though, like PlayStation. It's like, man, you guys like just what's up? How is the PlayStation 5 doing in Japan? I don't know, but like this doesn't bode well.
Right.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Switch sales, this actually happened in August that it reached 89 million sales for just Nintendo Switch hardware.
Incredible.
That's crazy. So it's now beat out the NES was the one in between for Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, but could you imagine?
It just has to do over 102 million to surpass the Wii.
It will. So I think it definitely will. Oh my gosh.
And then Mario Kart continues to be the top seller.
Yeah, baby. That's how it should be, buddy.
That's crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Well, what do we got next? Okay. So there is a new remaster or remasters coming. And it looks like there's a rumor, and it seems to be a pretty credible rumor from the way that people have been talking about it.
Yeah, it does.
But GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remasters are incoming, and it seems like they're going to be available for everything, including Switch, that would be cool. It's unclear if these are like. It doesn't seem like they're remakes. It seems like a remaster in that sense of the word.
Okay. I mean, right. It is apparently they have possibly another studio working on them.
Okay.
And I get, yes, most likely remasters, not remakes. That would make sense. But there's been talk, I can't remember where I heard it, about them potentially working on fixing some of the things that may be problematic now. So these games, right, like were very edgy at the time of release, and some of that stuff we've moved forward as a culture to not accept some of those things that may be present in these games. Sure. So to redo that, it's interesting. I don't know if it would be a remake or a remaster. They could probably handle that within a remaster for sure. I think, just slick editing or something like that.
And I think I mean, I've played all 3 of these games. There's not a ton of stuff that needs to change in that respect.
I mean, you just like run over hookers, no, but I'm just kidding. But that's like what these games are. GTA 5. Yeah, that's like, what these games are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not problematic.
There's not a lot of problematic stuff in a Grand Theft Auto game. Right. I knew something was up with you. You do have some skeletons in your closet, Brian. Man, yeah, this is cool. I'd be down. I'd probably buy it. Day one, honestly, I had a lot of fun with 2 of these games. I played some San Andreas, didn't play a ton of it. Oh man, I know it's probably the one of these I played the least amount of, but I was a little GTA'd out at that point because I put hundreds into GTA 3 and hundreds of hours into Vice City as well. Right. So yeah, but these are great.
I mean, I seriously doubt they're reconstructing things like, there's no cover system in any of these games. Right. It's just, I mean, the gunplay is always horrendous in like, I would say any GTA, honestly. Like GTA 5 got a little better, but
I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, and I'd say Rockstar games in general don't have the best gunplay. I mean, agree. They have the Deadeye, which kind of fixes some of their shortcomings, but like
for everything good that studio has done, like I don't know. We've just played much better in terms of
for sure
of gunplay.
for sure.
So
yeah, cool. I how do you feel? You probably pick them up, right? Depending on the price.
I don't know. If it's a true remaster where it looks slick and they fix just some of these control issues, I could see myself jumping into Vice City because that's the one that I spent the most time with and loved the most. I don't know that I want to visit GTA 3 again at all. Like even at the time, like I got how cool it was, but by the time I got around to these things, Vice City was already out, and that was the far superior game.
Right.
And San Andreas, maybe for the right price. The right price is probably like $9.99 each for me, honestly.
Maybe on Game Pass. You never know.
Maybe. I mean, other Rockstar games have come to it, but I wouldn't think.
Not day one. No. I would, man, playing GTA 3 again would be like coming home for me. Really? It was a time and a place in my life. I've told you about it. Like, those streets of Liberty City. I've seen it all. I've seen it all, Brian.
I've still got the Vice City map right here in my head.
Same. I mean, that's how I am with Vice City and GTA 3. I'm like, I know exactly where to go. I'm going to buy all those properties in Vice City. Watch me. Yeah, very cool. I'd probably pick it up,
Yeah.
If not just to play San Andreas through like I did the first time it was out. So, yeah. So moving on to our next story, a very, very, very influential system, maybe one of the best consoles of all time, celebrated its 30th anniversary. So happy birthday to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES. Woo! Yeah, happy birthday. Happy 30th anniversary, Super Nintendo.
This one's for you.
Major games. Yeah, this one's for you. Cheers. I'm not drinking anything except water. But yeah, that's big news. I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You want to feel old?
I know. Oh, yeah. There were a lot of cool just pictures on the internet of people showing their love for the SNES and
sharing personal memories. I think that was the coolest thing, reading other people's personal memories of a particular game or experience they had playing that console. I love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah. There's some really good Instagram people that some people just take the most beautiful photos of just like the systems and the games. And oh my gosh, there's one in particular. I forget her name, but it's like girl Advance SP or something, and she takes some really killer photos. And these people obviously have huge collections, and it's just unbelievable to see. Just really good photos of this stuff, and makes me want to like have a whole collection to be able to photograph.
Yeah, I can't say I miss my gaming collection.
Yeah,
I can get those games everywhere now. Yeah, like it's all true. Digital, man. I can play them wherever I want. So,
but you can't deny that there is that physical nature to the collection that is.
Yeah, they look good on a shelf. Special. They look good on a shelf, and that's where they were most of the time when I had them. So,
right?
Yeah,
What is going to happen when we die and we need to pass on our gaming collections? It's just, all right, well, here's my username and password.
Yeah, basically, that's cool.
I guess so.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't worry about such things.
Thanks, Dad. I've got all this on my lens.
Yeah, in my contacts. Right? Put in your contact and play whatever you want, whatever. Yeah, in my brain jack, Dad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, is there going to be a brain jack?
I don't know. The Matrix had them, right?
That's right. Just plug me in. Tell me I'm walking outside in the lovely sun.
Yeah. Speaking of which, not on our news list, Matrix Resurrection was at CinemaCon. I think there was like a CinemaCon this week, and there was a Matrix 4. It's going to be called Matrix Resurrection, and apparently, like Neo is back in the Matrix, and he's going through like therapy for like mental health, and he doesn't remember anything, and neither does Trinity.
Oh no!
And they like meet in a coffee shop and don't know each other, kind of.
Oh,
thing.
This is bad.
Sounds interesting, right?
Oh
like
my
now
God.
I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. Let's see what happens.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That everything's going through my head on that. Wow. That's crazy.
Pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I here's my skeleton in the closet. I have never seen the Matrix Reloaded. Is that the last one?
I don't know.
I haven't seen the last Matrix.
There was the Matrix. The Matrix Reloaded was the sequel.
Okay, so Revolution.
And, yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. It was an R word though. It was definitely an R word. Yeah. It wasn't Resurrection.
Now, yeah. What year was that? 2000, like 99 or something. Who knows? 20 years later.
It was 2000 something.
Yeah, 20 years later. Which one is the second one? It's so hard to tell.
I hope they kind of just look. The sequels were fine. I don't know. I hope it takes place after the first one. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Like I hope they just like retcon those other sequels. They were fine. They weren't terrible. I enjoyed them when they were like releasing in theaters.
Sure.
You know? But yeah, the ending didn't sit well with me. Yeah. The way they wrapped it up. So you really, if you were gonna miss any of them, miss the third one. You're good, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I've seen is 1 and 2. So
perfect.
I'm where I need to be.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there's no segue into this one, and you might have to help me out a little bit. But there was a Martin Luther King Jr. like museum in Fortnite. It was some sort of like exhibit kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it was it was within working with Time Studios, like Time Magazine, I guess, and they were going to let people relive Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. The experience was called March Through Time, and basically it would like put you in a Fortnite version of Washington, D.C. In the year when Martin Luther King gave his speech during the March on Washington. I think it was 1963. Yeah, and there you go. And it kind of lets you relive it in because look, I'm not trying to make small of this. This is cool. It's very big, but like there's this whole metaverse thing going on, right? So I'm sure it's just part of Fortnite branching out and trying to create that metaverse. Like they want this game to be more than just Fortnite. And I think this is really neat. Putting people in a place has a very powerful effect. Kind of wish it was in VR. That'd be really, really cool. But very interesting, very cool that they're doing this. And I hope they do more things like this in the future.
Yeah. It's wild. I didn't really see much of it, but I did see just like screenshots of just people in their Fortnite characters, like in segregated bathrooms, and like they try to give an entire experience. And it was just kind of weird seeing Rick or Morty or I forget which one, like it, like in line. I don't know.
Batman, right?
I don't know how to feel about that.
No, I get it. I understand too. It is almost like a commodification of something that is way more important than that.
But it's like, okay, well, we're trying to like bring awareness to just everything. So like, what would you have us do? I guess is kind of,
I get it.
I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
We don't want to live in a world where corporations are just like, well, we're not going to take a stance.
Exactly.
We've learned that we want to know what history is going to say about these situations. So like,
wow, we're about to go somewhere.
It's very,
I did not expect our podcast to go, but like, look, we live in a hugely capitalistic society, and like, commodification of these movements and like social awareness is something that occurs. And these companies do try to benefit from this, right? Like 100%. Fortnite knows it's going to get press for this. Like, I don't care about the good in it. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of good here. But like, did Epic decide on this purely for the good, or because they knew it would also benefit them as a business? It's both. Sure. It's both. 100% it's both. But yes, it is very good. It is a very good thing for companies to do something like this, to raise that awareness, to try to get people to experience more emotional intelligence and empathy. Yeah, I'm all for it. But I feel like they need to pair this. And again, I don't know the whole situation, but you need to say like, okay, and we're donating like everything that we make from Fortnite to this foundation or something that is benefiting, I don't want to say anything because I don't know enough to be like, yes, this is the organization that's going to help with these specific issues. But I think that's where you kind of like make it good, basically. Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. That would be a much bigger step than this. That would be more meaningful, and definitely more impactful as well. Sure. It's cool. It's cool, man. Yeah, I think it's cool. Our next news story is a VR one. Oculus Quest 2, they are on sale again. This time with double the storage, 128 gigabytes for the same price for the base unit. So you get that 128 gigabytes instead of the 64 that it was originally sold with. You also get the new non-face rashing faceplate. I think if ever there was a time to buy VR, like this is it. I said it with the base Oculus 2. Now you're getting even more for your money. And I just think it's kind of, I get the whole like, oh, Facebook's going to steal my identity. Like, I get all that, but trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. I don't really care. You can have all my info. Like, here's the thing. I love Beat Saber. Account, so. Exactly. I do find it funny. Like if people have a Facebook account, but they're like, they don't really want to do this. It's like, come on, dude. They already have it. But they could take pictures of your face. Well, dude, they have your profile pic. Oh yeah. Like, what? Sorry. You gave that up a long time ago. Right. So my question about this, where can I find a 64 gig for like $199? Because I would jump on that. That's true. Yeah. I don't know if that's a thing. I haven't looked. I have one, so I haven't looked about buying one. Yeah. But you cannot have mine for that price. I like mine. Well, you have all the bells and whistle upgrades too. So yeah, I would probably that aftermarket. Exactly. Yeah, I would actually on that baby. Consider a 199 if it were just like 64 gig, like out the door. God, that would get me to jump. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I don't know many people who wouldn't. Just to tie it to your computer for $199. Yeah. I mean, my identity, you could have my soul for that. No, I'm just kidding. They've got that too. They probably do. That's all right. And on a kind of tandem note, TikTok might be making a Oculus Quest competitor. Oh boy. Apparently. Yeah. ByteDance is the company that owns TikTok. Which is a Chinese company? I believe it is. Yeah. And they are in talks apparently to considering buying a Chinese VR maker called Pico. Pico, I have heard of before. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos revolving around VR when I first got my Quest. And man, I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, there was one who talks about various other headsets, and he was talking about Pico, and they have these really good specs, but the tech is kind of iffy, as far as the quality of what it's made from, but it's very much in that price range and promising the similar things that the Oculus Quest 2 is, as far as being wireless and things of that nature. So maybe if TikTok makes this purchase, it could be that push to get them on the same level. And then competition at this price point is not a bad thing for the end user. Like, we could all benefit from that. Totally. So we'll see. I think it would be interesting. It'd be kind of funny for it to be TikTok, like another social media platform. I wonder how they would tie it to their platform specifically. I'm sure there would be some tie in there. There'd have to be, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think that's interesting. I hope it happens, honestly, just from a consumer standpoint.
Sure. Competition is always good for the consumer.
100%. So we'll see. We'll see if it goes through. Maybe news next month we'll have it. I don't know.
Do we know when Facebook generally throws out a new Oculus, like either an event or new hardware?
I think they did it at an Oculus. They have Oculus specific events. Where they announce these things. They did already say they're working on Oculus Quest 3. They've come out and said as much, but they still plan on supporting they said the Quest platform. So anything will be usable on that Quest platform. So even if it's, the Quest 3 is in development, there'll still be Quest games that you could play on your Quest 2 sort of thing. So buying a Quest 2 isn't going to affect longevity. It does feel like the console cycle is a lot faster with VR at the moment. Just look at how Quest 1 and Quest 2 worked out. It was a matter of a few years, and it might happen again when Quest 3 is released. It might be only 3-4 years, 2 years maybe. So we'll see. But at least there's still going to be games available to you, and new games will still be available to you. That was my impression from what I had heard.
Right.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like Facebook is embracing hey, we are the best price. We are we're going to be wireless. Like, they dropped their Rift line in favor of we're going to be the wireless brands, and it's going to be, we're not after Valve or anything, but the high end stuff.
Right. Or HTC. But I think it is good, because then you devote all your, R&D to that sort of tech, and I'm cannot wait to see what happens in the future.
Yeah That'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's a big one.
This is so exciting.
So this came out of nowhere for me. Like, I think I had maybe heard bits and pieces of what I'm about to say, but there's a Spider-Man trailer. This is No Way Home.
Yes,
this is the third Spider-Man Tom Holland movie. And it looks like a good Spider-Man movie from the beginning. And he's got his antics, and look, there's Doctor Strange. That's cool. Like, we had Iron Man in one of the Spider-Man movies before. And so, we're used to them kind of bringing in these other characters. But wait, there's a laugh I hear. And there's a little grenade on screen. I've seen that grenade before. Isn't that the Green Goblins?
Yeah, it's a pumpkin bomb.
A pumpkin bomb.
Yeah.
And that laugh, I know I've heard it. I just played 12 minutes. I know that laugh. Is that Willem Dafoe? And then the big reveal is Doc Ock on screen. Peter, is it Peter Molina?
Alfred
Molina. He says, hello, Peter.
Yeah, he's like, hello, Peter.
So we're getting some multiverse like this is infiltrating our universe, because these are characters from the Sam Raimi trilogy of movies. Well, all we have is confirmation of the first two. I don't know that we've seen anything from the third Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man movies at this point. But
so I have seen speculation online. There's a clip where there's like a big wall of sand.
Okay.
And there's like blink and you'll miss it shot where it's a big wall of sand, and there's like a lightning bolt in that scene, and people are like, oh, maybe it's Sandman and Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then there's another one where like Peter's walking through a dark hallway and you see like a big in the background, it's kind of blurry, but you see like a big creature run up and like hit this wall, like a mystic wall that like flashes red when it hits it. People are saying that's the lizard from the first Amazing Spider-Man. So there's a lot of speculation going on about what's there. Man, what a moment in like movie history, right? When I heard that laugh, I was like, oh my. And as soon as you see the pumpkin bomb, it's like it's that same style, right? That rainy look of it. And I knew, I was like, oh, this is it. And it was cool to see Doc Ock too, standing there and the hello, Peter. I wish they showed the Green Goblin. That's all. Sure. Yeah, definitely wish they showed the Green Goblin. But we kind of knew with some, I don't know how much you pay attention to the titles of these upcoming movies. So there's
so like Doctor Strange and the Madness of the Multiverse.
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. So we knew that was multiverse stuff happening.
Yeah, and with the Disney Plus series, if you stay current on those,
right?
It happened.
Oh yeah, there's stuff happening,
right? So yeah, I'm just glad they're incorporating it. What a way to do it. I know Sony already had their Into the Spider-Verse moment, which was incredible.
Sure.
Used some interesting Spider-Man in that.
Yeah. This is way beyond anything
totally
that I could even possibly, because these are 20-year-old characters,
right?
And actors from 20 years ago. We haven't gotten confirmation of any other Spider-Men, but could you imagine the paycheck that Disney could write to like Tobey Maguire and say like, listen, this is what we're doing. We think you'll be happy with this. And like he could just say no. And then they would be like, okay, well, here's more money.
Right. Exactly. He probably got to name his price.
Right. If they really wanted to do this, then this is a obscene amount of money that we're talking 100%. About to actually make this happen.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Spider-Man out of the three actors?
So Andrew Garfield, I did not like those movies. I'm going to be honest. I really did not like in any way, shape, or form.
That's fair. I really liked what's her name is Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, she was good.
I like her a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Well, see, I like Kirsten Dunst. I mean, she was a great Mary Jane. I know people don't like her for other reasons, but Tobey Maguire has a special place in my heart because this was the origin of the like modern comic book movie for me. And I fell in love with that first movie, and the second movie is unbelievably good and one of the best for sure. But I think for the Spider-Man character, I love Tom Holland. I think he's doing a great job with it. And he's getting a good, like, I don't know. He is getting the benefit of what the, like, just the MCU.
Right. Of course. He fits into that like amazing universe. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. His introduction in Civil War was amazing. Just the way that they've used him throughout the several movies that he's been at this point. Yeah, I would say that I enjoy him more in the Avengers flicks than I have the actual Spider-Man movies.
That's fair.
But they've been really good still. Yeah. So what about you? A favorite Spider-Man?
Obviously Tobey Maguire has a special place as well. But yeah, I'd say it's Tom Holland. Is my favorite. Andrew Garfield was like the right build for Spider-Man.
Not the right attitude for me. Like
no, I kind of agree with that too, as well. No knock against him as an actor, but man, the one thing that gets me with Tobey Maguire is Tobey Maguire face.
Oh, sure.
Like, anytime he's like straining, he makes that like, it's like,
I can still see Spider-Man 3 and that like lip quiver. Like, I forget who died, but
when he's like,
right,
the ugly face. Yeah.
Yes.
But then when he's stopping the train in Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's a great face. I love it. Right? He has to really go to the bathroom.
I mean, like, we should have a list of, we should just discuss who makes the better faces. Is it Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings series? Or is it Tobey Maguire in the Spider-Man series? Because that is a battle of the ages right there. But
the Elijah Wood face that I have is in She Loves Lair.
Oh God.
Right.
Oh God.
That's great.
It is great. So, Did you know, by the way, in the first Spider-Man, that scene in the lunchroom where the food goes up in the air, he caught it. He actually caught it on the tray. That's incredible to me.
That's crazy.
It
took a lot of takes, but
right.
Yes.
But rewatch it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like, yeah. But anyway,
those are some great. I want to rewatch those. That it feels like the time is now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready. You know who else is ready?
I got you for 3 minutes.
That's right. Oh, dude, it's so good. Rest in peace, Macho Man. Rest in peace.
I know.
God,
I will not be seeing this movie in theaters, but if there were a movie that was going to get me back, it would have been this one.
Oh, like 100%.
Just December is far away, but not so far away.
Mm-hmm.
You just saw a movie and there was like no one there, so like maybe it's good. But
so I actually might be going to see Shang-Chi.
Really?
Weekend. Yeah, okay. And I do understand, like, it's COVID. You have to be smart. You have to make the right decisions 100%. So I'm still up in the air about it, but like, I think it's important. There's been this whole talk about, God, here we go again. But like, there's been this whole talk about it being an experiment. We want to see how the movies do in theaters, yada, yada. It is like one of the maybe only films that's had a major release. Like, it's definitely the only MCU film with a complete Asian cast, like almost complete Asian cast. And I think it's important to like show people want to see these movies. So I definitely want to see it. I think the reviews are like rave reviews for this film, and I cannot wait. I love martial arts movies. I really can't wait to see it. Obviously, I may wisen up and not want to get COVID, but like my heart really wants to go see this film in theaters opening weekend. Yeah.
Well, if you're feeling that way, then I imagine Spider-Man is going to get your butt in the seat. Like,
we'll see. It's months from now. Things might be a lot worse.
Like, it could be.
Yeah. You never know. But yeah, I can't wait. So we have one more major event to cover. So we'll go ahead and get into that.
Sure.
All right, Brian. So there was a conference this month. It was a pretty big one, not in Germany, which it typically is. We're talking about Gamescom. Com. And big news came out of this. Do you have anything you want to start with there, buddy?
I mean, the big one for me. So what's interesting is that Microsoft had their own little event before Gamescom, where they were just talking about different games. There was a notable exclusion, and that was Halo. Yeah, and everyone was like, "What's going on? Like, this seems
Halo
like
news,
right?
Yeah,
like show us something or tell us something. We want to know the date." And there was nothing. And then like the following day, they announced, "Yes, here's." So actually, to back up a little bit, it was on this last Friday they dropped the bad news of that there's going to be no co-op campaign for Halo at launch, and that will be coming in their season 2, which their seasons last about 3 months, and there will be no Forge at launch, and that will be in season 3. So Forge, I couldn't care less about. The co-op campaign is a little disappointing, but I would rather, like, this is absolutely them saying like, listen, we have to get this game out this year. It's like there's nothing that can stop this. So if we have to drop like these major features, then so be it. And I think this is them really just committing to 2021 release. And they announced the release date now for at Gamescom, and that is for December 8th, which that is the absolute most you can push a game in a calendar year, as far as I'm concerned. Like, if they really want to get any sales numbers for Christmas, I think that was kind of probably what they were gunning for. So Halo won't have everything at launch, but we are getting it this year still. Yeah. And you're still getting the main things. You're getting single player campaign. You're getting multiplayer. Like that. Those are the main 2 things. If they didn't hit those, then yeah, you might as well just delay it again.
Yeah. So season 2, we're gonna get through it. We'll play through the campaign a second time.
I was gonna say I will have already experienced it for sure. Like there's no doubt. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I am down. Cool. I don't know if they've said if it is a 2-player co-op or a 4-player co-op, because that's, since Reach, we've been able to do 4-player co-op for the campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Super cool.
For sure.
Dude,
play on Legendary.
Yeah, the trailer was really good too. I think when they had the girl who was like planting bombs and got caught, and then the Spartans came down and like basically protected her, and then she joined. It was like very empowering, very cool trailer. I thought, like, got me hyped for it. I liked it a lot. And they had Forza gameplay, and that was very good too. It still looks really good.
Yeah.
Tons of fun, beautiful looking game. There were times where I was like, okay, this looks more like a video game now. Like that first look we got was very mind blowing as far as graphically, but this looked a little more gamey, but it looks great. Sounds great. Beautiful game. I'm sure it's going to be a blast. Game Pass, baby.
That's it.
I'm joining the party. You cannot rub it in my face anymore, Brian. It does cost money though. Like, let's be real. It does.
It does. So I am paid up through, I think it's June of next year, because I think I told you they did a deal where you could convert like the Xbox Gold into Ultimate for $1.
Wow.
So I bought
you did
3 years of it and just traded that in.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah. It was awesome.
That is cool. So I am paid up for the first 2 years.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Not haha, but like pretty cool. Like I'm laughing in a happy sense, not laughing as like a rub it in sense.
Right.
Okay, good. Glad we got that out of the way. So other news from Gamescom, man. I'll just get the game that I am most hyped about out of the way. What a cool trailer. Enter Sandman with the Midnight Suns, man. They had this like really cool melodic version, female singer for Metallica's Enter Sandman. And it
this is the Marvel game.
The Marvel game, yes. Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Okay.
Yeah. And it started out looking really cool. Very brief story, like, hey, things have gone to crap and we need to revive this person to fight their mother, who is like the big bad, right? That's pretty much all you need to know. This heroes they were showing, I thought, were the reason I'm the most excited. Blade, definitely like that darker side of the Marvel universe, more of like that mysterious side. They showed Magic. They showed Nico from the Runaways, which is really cool. She was one of the magic users reviving the, I think the character you're going to be playing as is who they were reviving. It's called the Hunter. Yeah. It is going to be customizable. And she was reviving that character with Doctor Strange. They showed Wolverine. They showed Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider, which is really neat. We typically get Johnny Blaze in all forms of media. So it was neat to see Robbie Reyes being used.
Oh, you mean Nick Cage?
Sure. Yeah. Thank goodness it wasn't. Although that would be fun to see too. But yeah, I just really like that they're tapping into that side of the Marvel universe, and it's apparently a tactical RPG.
Yeah,
and this in
the XCOM folks.
I know Firaxis, and like I am so hyped after hearing that. Like, man, Mario plus Rabbids, but I get to use the Marvel universe. Like, let's go, buddy.
Oh, man.
Can't wait, dude. I mean, I said it after what event was that? I don't even care. E3? Was it E3 with all the tactical RPGs that are coming out? This is incredible, dude. This is incredible. Metal Slug Tactics, right? You got this coming out. Midnight Suns. You got Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. You got Advance Wars 1 and 2. Holy smokes. I swear, my end of 2021 and like all of 2022, I'm just going to be playing a ton of tactical RPGs, dude. And I cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to this game. It was like a hype trailer, no gameplay shown.
Sure.
I don't really care. I'm just happy that something like this. The thing that makes it even cooler, I know I'm up to 11 right now. I'm that excited, dude. The thing that makes it even cooler, Marvel went to them about making this game.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently Marvel was people at Marvel were such big fans of XCOM that they thought, oh my gosh, it would be cool, a Marvel game in the form of XCOM, and went to the developers about making this game.
Wow.
That to me says like they knew what they wanted, right? And they knew the people they wanted to do it. And that just gets me even more excited for this, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They already made the wrong bet with Square Enix for Avengers. So maybe they're making better decisions on that.
Yeah. I'm excited though. If you can't tell, I'm excited. Yeah.
Well, you can play Gears Tactics to hold you over, because that's a Gears XCOM style.
Yeah. So I saw there's like a game that's like Gears Pop. It's like a Funko Pop Gears of War. What is that?
I think that's a mobile game.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to waste your time with anything like that. Yeah.
I was just like, what is this I'm looking at now?
No. Yeah,
I wasn't going to try it. I'm just like,
there was like an E3 where they were like, here's all the Gears. It's like Gears 5, Gears Tactics, and Gears Pop. And
oh boy.
Yeah.
Great.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
But we got another really big, I would say this is the one that I was looking forward to the most. We got the release date for Horizon Forbidden West.
We did.
Which it's February, what was it?
18th, I believe.
18th. Yeah, that sounds right. Of 2022.
2022.
So it's coming out for PS4 and PS5 on that day. So I will more than likely be getting the PS4 version, because I don't see myself getting a PS5 in the next couple of months.
Right.
So then you're going to get the PS5 version, I imagine.
I think I will.
Yeah,
I think I will.
Probably.
So I'd swing for it.
We'll be able to compare and contrast those two. I imagine you'll be having a much more visually appeasing time with that game.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I will.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so this kind of got me, because they were like, obviously, I'm cool with delays if it makes the game better. I've always said that. Like, go ahead, delay your game if you need more time. We want the good game, right? We don't want the bad game that we have to wait for a patch to play.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting. The developer comes on and he's like, hey, guys, like, here I am. And I got some really good news for you. And I was like, well, what's the good news? Like, holy crap, is this actually going to hit 2021? And he's like, we will be able to hit the release date of February 18th, 2022. And it was just like, what?
I mean, that's early.
It is early.
You know, anything before March, I would have been surprised about. So
yeah, I mean, it's like almost 5 years to the day, like you said.
Right.
You know, it's the same period. It's not going to hurt the sales of the game. I can't see that happening.
No. People will be starving for a PS5 game at that point.
I just thought the delivery was a little like, really, you're gonna try to, like, you can't just say it's a good thing. Right, you know, like, it's not the most disappointing thing I've ever heard in my life. But real quick, there were some other releases that were discussed. Sifu is releasing like 4 days, like a week before Horizon, which great. Yeah, but this game looks a lot smaller in scale. I think it could fit in that window and still do well. I'm excited for it. It looks really good. The combat looks cool, very fluid. It looks like an interesting roguelite game. So yeah, I'd probably pick it up for the right price. Death Stranding Director's Cut, we got a little more information about some of the upgrades, and honestly, I might be getting this game.
Oh no.
Brian. Yeah. Well, I was always interested in the first one and never got it because of the tedium people would like just rake on it about, you know, and it looks like these upgrades are taking that into consideration, making it easy to get that tediousness out of the traversal. So I am very much looking forward to that. There were some other just quick shots if you want to discuss them. Did you see DokeV?
I did. Is that like Pokemon style?
Yeah. It was like Pokemon
children.
Yeah, it was like Pokemon meets Splatoon is the vibe I got. Right. And I got that as soon as I watched the trailer. Then I see some article like with that in the title, and I'm like, man, now I can't say it because I'm gonna sound like I'm copying you, dude. But like when I was watching the trailer, I'm like, this is like Splatoon meets Pokemon.
Right.
But it seems cool. It does seem interesting. You know?
It was pretty to look at.
It was a very, very polished trailer. Another trailer that piqued my interest, it's actually, I think there's an alpha or a beta on Steam right now, was that Giants. Did you see it? What was it called? Man, now I'm gonna
I'm not sure.
God, I better get this right because like I don't want to. Giants Uprising, I believe it was. Right. Yeah, Giants Uprising. So I don't know anything about this game, but watching it, I was like, man, if this is like a 1v all, it could be pretty cool. Like one person gets to be the giant. Because I remember playing the first Battlefront and being the AT-AT, the AT-AT was the coolest thing. You really feel unstoppable against all these little people and you get to bomb them. And so having a whole game based around that, and more mobility, obviously, things like that. I think it's actually a really good idea for a game. So even if this game isn't that, somebody take that idea and run with it, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Like a 1v all, and it's like a 100-player room. That could be cool. Right?
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's what this game is, but that's the feeling the trailer gave.
I'm pretty sure it's just, NPCs and you're going through the towns and destroying them.
Oh, that's not as fun. That's not as. Did you hear my disappointment there?
I know. know.
And there's also a game that, of course, we have to mention. It's Elden Ring. Elden Ring. Yeah,
that's January. Coming out, right?
Yeah, January. Which is great. It was January 22nd, I believe. And from what I'm hearing, people think it could actually, based on the hearing from the people who saw the gameplay, and it was somebody playing the game, it wasn't just pre-recorded footage. They said this game looks like it's ready to go, like it could hit that January date. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. The stuff I'm hearing about it is very cool with the open field structure. People did obviously make parallels to Breath of the Wild, saying it's like, oh, Dark Souls meets Breath of the Wild, which nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
It seems extremely cool. They look like they're doing some things with traversal where you could just get like a magic horse. There's like a little thing that your horse can step on, and it shoots up the side of a cliff. So that'll help with some of the,
sounds like a Skyrim mod,
right? But sounds a lot cooler than climbing is in the rain sometimes,
right?
So everything I've heard, it's much more customizable than, like, obviously in other Souls games, you could pick your character and kind of build them however you want, caster, summoner, blah, blah, blah. But this is like way more in line. Like you could make a build entirely around a specific thing, and it's not going to hinder your gameplay.
Sure.
Like, with Dark Souls, there are some things that you need to be able to do regardless of your build. So I'm excited, man. Sounds like a lot of fun. I love these games,
We have a stacked beginning of the year, which is kind of rare. I mean, there's a new Pokemon game that seems like it's a new style. Elden Ring, certainly. Horizon.
There were other games. I'm not terribly excited about them. Saints Row, you into that? Yep.
I have never played a Saints Row game.
Oh, really? Okay.
It didn't really. Yeah. Didn't do any. I feel like it's a good time though, because that's like a GTA clone
kind
game,
of,
right?
They did I mean, I guess a little more absurd, for sure.
But still, like, if anyone wants to capitalize on what the GTA void that we're in right now, like, now's the time to do it. Agree.
So Dying Light 2 had a bunch of stuff. Didn't play Dying Light 1.
Yeah,
I'm not like a parkour guy.
No.
I'm kidding. Lego Skywalker Saga. I feel like we've had this game 5 times. I don't know. Yeah, like people are very excited about these Lego games. I like them, but like I probably will never buy another Lego game. I've played a lot of Lego games, and they're fun.
I think the Jurassic World park builder thing, the sequel is coming out.
The sequel's coming out. Yeah.
That the first one was on Game Pass. We actually played that and liked it until it got ridiculously difficult. Like the second map was just, we couldn't progress at all. So but the new one will have Bryce Dallas Howard and Jeff Goldblum and like actual voice actors from Jurassic World.
Goldblum was in the first one, wasn't he?
He was like the kind of person telling you what to do.
Right.
But yeah, that movie's coming out with the original cast and new cast. Anyway.
That's cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Well, this was great, man. I love discussing this news with you, Brian. It was a lot of fun.
So I have a question before we depart here. What is the first game that you will be playing on your Xbox Series X when you get it?
Wow. I haven't really thought about that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you kind of gonna just like open the Game Pass catalog and see what tickles your fancy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing I'll probably Doom Eternal. Like we'll be
okay. Yeah. That seems like a good starting point.
I might start with something like 12 minutes because it's easier to kind of not put too much time into from the sound of it.
Sure.
So I might end up doing that just so I may end up finishing Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know,
sure.
So I really don't have like a set game. I know Doom Eternal's on there. So if I had to say one, it would probably be that.
Sure.
but I haven't really given it much thought beyond that. Yeah. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
There's a world of gaming that I'll be open up to. And I know there's a lot of indies that there is one actually that Slay the Spire.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
I never played. I love deck builders.
Right.
In a board game.
Did you play SteamWorld?
I played SteamWorld Dig, but it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't
not the card
deck
one.
building.
Hand of Gilgamesh. Mech.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, but like I love deck building games, so I definitely think I would. I'm looking forward to getting that, you know, and a few other indies that like I don't have to spend the $5-10 on that I was spending on my PlayStation. So yeah, it'll be good.
Cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me. One last feature that was discussed is the xCloud is coming to consoles, so you'll be able to play Series X games on your Xbox One, for instance, without having to download anything. You just stream it directly to your console. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be the in for like Halo Infinite, let's say. If you don't want to spend the money or you have an old console, that'll be a cool way to jump in. So
yeah.
Another way to play. That's always good.
Yeah, no, it is. It is good. I'm looking forward to it, man. I will have so many options now.
Right.
The one thing is my computer suffers. I'm not getting a new one.
No.
So deal with it, you old bastard.
Puts you back for sure.
Definitely, man.
But now you have all three, so that's a good place to start.
I'm happy. I'm a happy man.
Except when the OLED Switch comes out.
Whatever. No, I'm good. I said that about a PS5, and here I am with an Xbox Series X and a PS5, right? And I think I said when I got my Oculus Quest 2, I'm like, I don't feel like I need a PS5 now. And 2 months later, maybe I got a PS5, and now like here I am with all of them. So, hey, look at that. I even have VR. I am really like,
you got it all, man.
I got it all.
You're plugged in.
What do you get the man who has it all? Absolutely nothing. That's it. What you could get us is a review on your favorite podcast app, though. That would be cool. You could also go ahead and feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're at Listoff Podcast, or on Twitter, Listoff_podcast. You'll probably see us a lot less on Twitter, but so be it. Links are below in the notes of the show. Hey, that rhymed. Sweet. All right. So we do have a list for next week, Brian.
We do.
We'll be back next week, and we will be discussing the top 10 games that should not have become franchises. This was suggested by our Splitgate partner, Keith from the Main Quest. I think it's a great list idea. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what I'm thinking is games that had let's say a good game,
right,
and it needed to end there. Like, let's say The Matrix maybe is a good example in the TV realm
or movie realm. Yeah. So I will say it could be a bad game too, that like in no way deserved the sequel, but got it.
Right.
But that's I was kind of thinking an interesting entry would be like a good game that wrapped everything up, and then they just, it sold well, let's make another.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll be good putting it together. Definitely.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, as always, guys, we appreciate you, and thanks for listening. We hope you have a great week. Bye.
See ya.